Welcome back to the Wise Guys podcast on Via Arabia. I'm Ali.
I'm Ahmed.
And I'm Matar.
Please do hit subscribe if you're new, as we're growing out this platform on YouTube. Today, we're joined by a young Qatari inspiration after having graduated and studied in the United States. He's now also taking time to help inspire young Qataris in making the right choices and helping them prosper. He joins us today to shed light on Qatari culture and help bridge the gap between locals and residents. He's an absolute trailblazer. It's Talal. Let's go.
Yay. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, thank you for
Pleasure's
coming
ours,
on.
man.
But hey, before we do start, we might have to obviously wrap up this question, this whole podcast real quick. This is a very, very important question we always have to ask. On the surface, it might seem like a basic question, but I assure you it's not. Okay, it's very, very deep.
Okay.
I trust you'll make the right decision.
We'll see.
Decision.
He also says it wrong. It's decision. Okay.
Yeah, carry on.
But here's the question: Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi?
Oh, I don't want to upset Speed here, but if he's watching it, but honestly, I would say Messi. Come on.
It is the first Messi.
Finally.
Yeah.
Why Messi? Why Messi?
I'm not the biggest football fan here, okay? But from the amount that I've seen people talk about Messi and how well he plays, they say he's like a magician when it comes to playing football.
Yes.
Like the ball is like a magnet to his feet. So it kind of makes sense to me, at least, that it says stick with the idea that Messi is the best player compared to Cristiano. That I've seen him lately play in the Saudi league. That sometimes he play well, sometimes he doesn't, and depends on his team. Honestly,
You know what? You know what's interesting? I had that feeling anyway. That's why I sat on this side today. You got the Messi guys over here. You got Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Blacks versus whites.
Of course.
Even though mother was also black, but okay. Hey, thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
You have studied in the United States. Let's just start off. How was it like studying there and adjusting to life there, having moved from Qatar?
So obviously the three from the UK.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff that's different from the United States and the UK.
Yeah.
First of all, in the United States, I felt that the cultural shock between Qatar and United States was very obvious from the beginning, I would say. Honestly, from the beginning, one of the things that I realized is that just the amount of differences between the idea of poverty and kind of the ultra rich in America.
Okay.
So when I was even going through campus, just walking by, I would see posters or one of those flyers that says that, please help me or please call this number. My father has cancer. Please donate to this number.
Yeah.
Or take a strip, like a piece of paper, like a strip, that has like a number or an email or something like that. So you can contact them so you can donate. And that just then goes to that. Even like burial.
Yeah.
They can't bury people. They cannot depend on the government when it comes to burials.
Yeah.
They have to pay for it. And some people just don't have the financial means to do it. So they have to ask for help. On the flip side, okay, there are some of the things that entertaining part of the campus life that was there is just the amount of people that have different views, like either extreme or either light. One of those is like one guy who is standing there every now and then talking about UFOs. I'm not joking. We're laughing, but there are some people that actually believe it. Like, it's not like it's funny, but and some of them truly believe it. UFOs or the Earth is flat, or some of those conspiracy theories, or any of those.
Yeah.
And some of them have political views or religious or political.
Yeah.
And there is also the I forgot the exact word for it, but it's those religious figures who come there, try to kind of sway you into their belief or into their
I think cult or something.
It's not exactly
like a
cult.
Jehovah's Witness.
Kind of, but
Missionaries
it's not
almost,
missionary.
yeah.
And the funny part is, you have guys, you have girls who are missionaries. They wear specific ways. They talk specific ways. Some of them even know Arabic.
Oh.
They teach them Arabic because they know
They want to connect.
with the person.
Okay.
because they know there's some Arab in that school. So college. So that's why they try to grab them.
They're working hard.
So how did your experience there differ from life in Qatar?
So the experience is that honestly that the school there or the college life there is different, right? Here is more, I would say, laid back, more controlled, more, nothing too hard, nothing too controversial, something like that.
Yeah.
But obviously in America, just like in the movies,
Yeah.
you see there's some controversial, like clubs
Yeah.
that promote whether partying or some other activities, or you have certain people who are walking with their beliefs. For example, a T-shirt that has like a specific political or something kind of figures. And the studying there is also different. The studying there, I felt it was a bit harder. Not because it's just how it's hard, because the amount that they give you.
Okay.
So the amount of assignments, the amount of research or amount of homework,
Right.
the amount of quizzes.
Okay.
And on top of the tests, I believe in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, it only have research-based studies, like kind of those, I forgot what's the correct word to use.
In the modules.
Yeah, in the module, like in each subject, you have like research based.
The research papers.
Research papers,
Yeah.
and then you have tests.
Yes.
If I'm correct.
Yeah.
So you have two things to worry about, I would say, right?
yeah.
But there, no, it's more and more top things, in addition to discussions as well.
Yeah.
So they have discussions.
Do they still do a lot of group projects in the USA? Like, do you have to do group project even though people you don't like, or you have to just do it together?
Not necessary. Some of them do it. Some of them says if you want to do it with groups, you can do it. If you want to do it alone, it's up to you. Some enforce it. So it's up to the doctor and then the professor.
Of how they want to do it. So how old were you when you moved to the US?
So I believe I was 24, I believe. I was 24 there. 24, 23, somewhere there. I came during the final final year of President Obama.
Oh,
So Hillary and Trump was against each other.
Oh, you've seen it all.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Oh,
You were there. Oh my god.
Yeah. I saw it all.
the comments,
I saw it all.
the whole controversy stuff between each other.
Left versus right. That's wild.
right,
That's
yeah.
wild. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild. That's wild. Is there a lot of protest against Trump and all that stuff, right?
Not only protests. The best I can describe it, and it might be kind of weird to say it, but it's actually true. You know how you played Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah.
And what you see there, whether it's protesting or when you turn on the radio,
Yes.
you think it's a parody. You think it's a parody. Every word, every sentence, everything. It's not.
It's
It's not. It's truthful.
It's real life.
When I was playing Grand Theft Auto in the US, I felt kind of weird because I wasn't laughing when I was hearing the radio because it was literally what I heard like a year ago or somewhere at the time when I was hearing, because at the radio they're talking about nuclear bombs, about how would you let President Trump control nuclear bomb? They would, declared on Europe or whatever country.
Honestly, you know what you're talking about right there is exactly how I felt as well. Because when I was younger, I used to play GTA all the time.
Yeah.
San Andreas, Vice City, all of them. That radio station used to be like my favorite thing to listen to, like a joke. But now, that's what I hear. It's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, it's very
That's
true.
crazy.
It's very true. It's very true, actually.
The sarcasm became real, man. People believe that.
What were some of the challenges that you faced moving from Qatar, studying abroad?
One of the challenges I would say, first thing first, is just acclimating to the environment.
Yeah.
Second thing is the amount of work you had to do. Okay. And third thing is that there is some discrimination there.
Okay.
Or more likely, I would say that the government itself is really eyeing on, pretty much visa students or pretty much anybody who is not actually a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was Trump versus Hillary, and Trump won. We remember that, and I was there, and Trump won. And that goes, I guess, to the idea that, at the airport there was problems and they were really grilling me at that time, and they were really eyeing on me, especially when I was trying to leave. Pretty much it felt like the university was my, sponsor, pretty much. But I had to tell them if I want to leave,
Okay.
if and when I'm going to leave.
Right.
when I'm going to return, if I'm going to return. And I had to always keep with me a piece of paper. If I left and if I return, I have to keep it. I have to always keep it in a safe place. Of course, with the passport, with other things, no matter what. And if it's lost,
No, you were there at a tough time. Remember Trump's, when he was getting in, they were saying there's going to be a purge. People are going to go crazy. But the biggest thing he spoke about is the travel ban. He had a travel ban. He banned a lot of countries from coming to the USA, which made it tough.
They call it the Muslim ban for a reason. Because I think in most, if not all of it, was a Muslim nation, pretty much. It was Sudan, Somalia, and Yemen, and some other countries, I believe.
100%, yes.
On purpose.
Yeah. It was pretty tough. But also, you've moved, like you said, when you're about 24, right? Roughly about 24.
Yeah, it's roughly that.
So when you moved, did you have family there, or did you pre-visit? Or was that your first ever visit to America when you were 24?
It wasn't my first ever, because I did it when I was really, really young.
Okay.
So I wouldn't count it, honestly. But if you didn't count that, yes, it's my very first. And thankfully, I had my father with me at that time.
Okay.
Honestly, he traveled to the US a couple of times. So he had a rough idea and a good idea of what exactly to do and how exactly to do it. So I wasn't completely in the dark. But easily, if my father wasn't with me, I would pretty much in the dark. And I'm honestly, for the most part, I was in the dark, honestly. But alhamdulillah, I got through it.
Alhamdulillah. You represent, a resilient young Qatari who made that big decision to go abroad and study abroad, and of course, leave the comfort of your own country, and you're facing all these challenges and you have to make these adjustments, like you said. Right now, we're teachers, so, this is the time where a lot of, students are applying to universities. What advice would you give them, especially those thinking of moving abroad?
So, I was thinking of mostly the students that, first thing first, obviously, they have to make sure that the college that they're looking at is the correct one. And the majors or the colleges that they're looking at is important as well. And something that they are actually interested in, they're going to continue. Because, especially in this Trump, presidency that he won, he's really going to be eyeing out on any potential students who are changing majors, changing college. And you have to know when you're changing colleges and some or majors or maybe other things, that maybe there's some specific university that tells you that no, you have to change the visa, or something that has changed the US that last time I came. So you have to make sure that this is a priority, that you have to make sure that all the basics of the needs of comes the visa and so on, and the fees and everything is properly done, because he's really eyeing on that. Second thing is that you have to make sure that you go to a university that you feel that there's a good percentage of people that you're comfortable with, Thankfully, when I was going to the university that I went, honestly, I didn't search. It was just purely by luck. There was some good amount of Arabs and good amount of Muslims there. So I wasn't completely in the dark, honestly, when it comes to that. But it does give you some kind of community support when you're there, especially at the beginning when things are tough, you're not acclimating to the environment.
100%.
That's
need that.
And finally, final question regarding universities and things like that. Obviously, there's a lot of amazing universities here in Qatar now as well, especially from abroad. We've got Education City that boasts, a myriad of different universities. Do you think, would you still advise someone to go abroad to study, or do you think staying here and studying within Qatar is maybe just as good?
I would say, first thing first, that a lot of people have this kind of preconception that the ranking of the university is the most important thing.
Right.
That is the most important thing. That if it's the first, then you're gonna get a job like that. That doesn't work anymore. That's not always the case. So sometimes I would say that the fees is important. That the ranking is not the most important. So in the Qatar, we have good amount of university that has fees and scholarship and tuition or financial support that can provide it, compared to the US, where there's a lot of people there and a lot of people international students, so they're not going to help that much. And they're mostly they only accept you because if you have a good amount of money or you have good amount of fees, so because they want to pay their fees. That's one thing that has good in the Qatar. And also second thing is that in Qatar is that there's a lot of majors and colleges that we offer that has the same colleges and majors that's abroad. So you don't need to really go out and really be away from your friends and family and so on, because it's tough. It's tough. I was out there, and sometimes it's tough when you're away from your friends and family.
Yeah.
So
with your even with your social life, you can impact that. Because
Yeah.
when you're away, let's say 3-4 years, even when I was in uni, 3-4 years, you don't keep in touch as much with your close friends. So when you come back and you all come back, it's a bit different between each other. This guy's doing whatever with his life. You don't keep in touch like that. So like you said, staying local has its positive for sure. For sure. But okay, what would you give me? Let's say now I'm in year 12, 13, going into university. I want to do a certain subject. My parents want me to do a certain career. How do you think I can have this conversation or balance to choose a career that I think I want?
This is a long and going to be difficult discussion with your parents.
Yeah.
Because sometimes parents, we might be at the age when we were younger, we always think that we know the best.
Yeah.
And honestly, sometimes, the parents knows the best sometimes. And so you have this discussion where they have to be convinced and you have to be convinced as well, right? They might have a good point that you might not know about.
Think about,
Same thing for you, or same thing for your parents as well. So that discussion is the first thing you have to have. And second thing is a game plan. I think most parents, they refuse because they think most are clueless. Like their sons are clueless. They're going to be in trouble. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're studying. They don't know what exactly they're heading there. Why exactly? You gotta have a plan. You gotta show them that you actually are ready and you have a game plan and you're ready for it.
This may sound diabolical, but if my son tells me, Dad, I want to do art, nah.
Why?
Well, as in art or
Art as in
performing
like
art?
not just art as in like drawing stuff.
Drawing stuff.
I don't know why.
Why
don't know.
though? Why not?
'Cause I don't think I'll be. I just don't know.
Are you
I don't
looking
know.
at it career-wise?
Yeah, career-wise, yeah.
World's changing.
Maybe
Because art now you can go into gaming, graphic design.
100%.
You
Well,
can
I didn't
go
think
to-
about it like
You can
that.
go to a lot of
Maybe
fields.
even architect.
Yeah.
He might be an amazing. He might be a prodigy painter. He might
Picasso.
be the new Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know.
And you're holding him back. Yeah.
For you. Nah,
But
nah.
hey, all the artists out there, keep shining. Yeah.
Keep thriving. Keep
Hey,
drawing.
We love art on this side. Just on this side though.
We're against it, I guess.
Hey, but bringing it back to Mother's question regarding parents, one of the most beautiful things I've sort of noticed in Qatar, especially Qatari culture, is the love for parents. A lot of our students in Qatar, we see like they're named after like so their father will name the first son after his father, and it goes on like that. So you might get Nasser Ali, Nasser Ali, Nasser Ali, Nasser Ali. Yeah? Can you tell us a bit about that?
So there's always a reason for that, and one of the reasons is exactly what you said. It's like honoring their father or grandfather, depending on the name that they hold. So it holds like weight to them that you're named after your father or your grandfather and so on. So that's one of the reasons, to hold honor.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, one of the things that we all love our parents, right?
100%,
And we want to hold honor to them. We want to make them proud. And that's one of the reasons.
No, it's nice though. All I'm saying, I've got my granddad's name.
Yeah.
Have you?
Oh,
It kind of gets, sorry about that.
I got my uncle's name, so close.
fair enough, fair enough.
My whole family's just Ali, 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 Ali.
But even the whole honoring the family and stuff like that, we could see it with our students. Because if I tell one of my students, I'll call you dad for a positive, it's like, oh my God, mister, you are the best.
They'll come
Yes,
to you.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Wallah.
It's amazing.
Hey, if you have a very big plan and you don't want to tell your father that, first thing first, you gotta say, I'm gonna name my son after you. He's gonna immediately be swayed.
Yeah. You know what? I'll do that.
Yeah, that's a good
Hey,
plan.
my son, if you're watching this in the future, if you want to do art, do that.
Hey, but listen, this is obviously we're honored to have a Qatari on, so we want to ask you some questions. What are some misconceptions that you think people may have of Qataris?
So one of the misconceptions, I think one of them is that the criticism part. You always hear, right? Like Qataris don't accept criticism.
Yeah,
Qataris don't
yeah.
accept criticism. Qataris don't accept criticism.
Yeah.
I would say it's not true. It's just that the way they do it, right? We all, I think three of you might understand my point.
Yeah.
That some people, when they criticize, right, they have this bad faith or bad intentions when they do it.
Yeah.
And no matter how you have that feeling, regardless, you just have that feeling. You know that that person has bad faith in a way, just not only the way they say it, just the way that they say that questions, right?
Yeah.
And also is that not only the bad faith, but also what the question is. Is usually there's this preconceived idea that they want to say it, not because that ask that question, not because they want to learn. Mostly they want to validate their own stuff. And this is not only in real life, this is online, this is everywhere, honestly. And most people do that because they want to validate themselves. I think that's one of those misconceptions.
And we saw that, I think we saw that on display during the World Cup, where we saw the world like vultures just attack Qatar, right? Especially before they even came to the country. You know, I remember the first World Cup, the opening game, I was there, and there was a Sky Sports presenter, and I was like, this is Sky Sports. I was giving an interview, but he was confused that I was being so positive about the country. And then after they didn't use this on air because I don't think they liked my answer. It wasn't fitting the agenda, right? But afterwards, the cameraman was genuinely concerned, and he's asking me, are you okay? Like, how can you live here? I said, bro, what are you talking about? This is an amazing country. He goes, no, are you sure? Like, because he must have just believed everything he was hearing before he came. I later saw him down the line, couple games down the line. I saw the same cameraman, right? And he goes, this country's amazing. So you see that often. And I think it links to what you're saying about, you know, some of the criticism having, you know, sinister undertones at times. So that's quite interesting.
And also adding to that, I remember when we were coming to Qatar during the World Cup, a lot of people were saying, oh, these guys wasted so much money in the World Cup, all this money in the World Cup. But living here for 3 years after the World Cup, you could see all the infrastructure is being used well by the locals. I remember Souq Wakra used to be a bit quiet. Now it's busy. I can't even find parking. Souq Wakra is busy. Lusail is getting busy now. So it's they were doing this, they invested in their country, not only the World Cup event.
But even with the misconception part, because when I came out here to teach, you get that, oh, don't contact the parents, don't speak to the father, keep it simple. But then you actually speak to the fathers or the mothers, whatever, who can contact, and it's a complete different story. They welcome you so, like on the phone, they're just so nice to you. They understand your point of view. They support you 110% fully with whatever you want to do. Especially parents' evening when it's weird because you're joking, and then some colleagues are looking, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, this guy's funny. Like, he's actually funny.
Exactly.
Stuff like that,
What you're saying there as well is, do you know how usually in English you say, how are you, man? You okay? Or hi. You good? But with Qataris, there's so many ways I don't even know how to respond. Say, Assalamu alaikum, shlonak, wash khwan, asak tayyib, wash alomak, kif al-aila.
He keeps going,
It's just a politeness. It's too much. I don't know what to say to him. I feel rude if I say one thing. And then I say the same thing back, and then it's 10 minutes. But you could tell, Qatari especially, you know this majlis concept. When I first heard about that, I was, you go to a majlis, I could go into your house, your majlis, not the house, your majlis, sit down, I'll drink tea, stay however long I want. I could not believe that.
The ultimate man cave. That's what I say.
Hey, just for our viewers, because we have a lot of people watching from abroad, can you explain to them what majlis is?
The majlis is like, the concept is, I was joking about it, but it's kind of true. It's like a man cave. We also have woman cave inside the house. Okay, the woman can have their own woman cave, however they want to do it. But the man cave is different. So there's like a tiny, not tiny, but depending on the person, but a tiny or a big room that is detached from the house. But the door is looking outward to the streets. So the idea here is that there's privacy from the house and this room that we call majlis, and that friends or colleagues or guests or any person actually, some you know, for most of majlis, they invite anybody on the streets can enter. Can enter and can drink tea and discuss. And this is not only in Arab culture. This is I would say maybe even Muslim concept because this is not only in Qatar, for example, in Saudi Arabia, you have even in Turkey, and I believe maybe in other countries as well. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe they do have something like that kind of concept.
No, 100%,
No, it's amazing because I remember one time, similar to yours, I just finished praying. It was Maghrib. I come out, and the guy that I was praying to, next to, both sides, just went to this random door. Let me just walk in with them, man. Let's go. And it was just majlis, everyone sitting down, and everyone stayed there all the way till Isha, and then went back into a masjid. It was beautiful.
No, 100%. The same thing happened to me. I was at the mosque. I was speaking to his brothers, Qatari guys. I said, Hayyak al-Majlis, Hayyak. I'm like, what?
Where are you taking me?
Where are you taking me? Hayyak al-Majlis. I just got to know them, man.
Hey, but speaking of Qatari culture, right? I I think this guy, he's got 60 thobes. I don't know if you heard.
I've got 60
He's got 60 thobes.
62 now.
Oh, 62 now, yeah?
Isa
Hey.
got 62 now. Isa.
You got it more than me.
But listen, speaking of thobes, obviously we're looking at your qitra and whatnot, the different color variations. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So the colors is depending on the origin of it, right? The black is Iraqi, okay, or the orange is in Iraq.
Okay.
Okay, and the origin of it is actually Iraqi, but you know the Palestinians also use it.
Okay.
Because it was this idea of solidarity.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And the second thing is the red. So the red, some say it's Jordanian, the origin of it. It can maybe Jordan, maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
The white and or this one exactly I'm wearing shawl is for the seasons. So the white is the summer season because it's lighter and reflects because the color is white.
Yes.
So it reflects the sun rays. While the shawl is more thicker or has material that is more, at least, kind of deflects the kind of wind or the coolness of the environment. So that's one of the reasons. I'm actually more interested, not in the qatra or this one, is this one. Do you by any chance know why the color is black?
That's a good question. Let's think. Is it got to do anything with like the desert or anything? No.
So there is a popular kind of story. Don't know if it holds true, but I think it holds some truth to it, or most of it. Is that the actual Gal origin is actually white.
Okay.
The fall of the Andalus, when it fell, the people there, some of them escaped, by skin of their teeth. When they returned, they felt defeat and shame because they let this land fall, pretty much because they were too into the dunya, or more likely too into themselves, or the infighting between each other, that it led to this complete destruction of or complete takeover happening. So to show that the people, to the locals, that they're returning to their father and sons and people there, as ashamed as that they felt. So describe it as that they took their agal and painted it black, and they kind of put their heads down while they were going inside to their city or village at that time, to show that we are actually, ashamed of it, and we're not proud of it. We didn't do it intentionally, because at that time people were, mad.
But what does the attire represent to you today?
The attire represents the culture, the tradition, the culture, the history that, you see many cultures around the world that have beautiful national dresses, right? Whether it's in Africa or Asia or in the Middle East or wherever, right? But the people that became indulged into this culture, right? Culture of the foreign cultures, right? But we decided that no, we don't need to. We don't need to, imitate people that, to advance or to keep up with the time, right? We don't need to do that. That's not a rule. That's no rule that was made. And to see Sudanese or people like Mauritanians or any other nationality, people from Africa, that they wear national dress in Qatar, it makes me actually proud. I'm not mad when I see it. It actually makes me proud more, because he felt comfortable wearing it. He felt comfortable.
And we noticed that as well, because I remember one time Ali over here wore it like a Somali style. People complimenting him. They were showing love of the World Cup.
Oh, yeah,
Do you remember?
Yeah. I try to do my own little variation. Hey, people were saying I might put it in fashion. I'm not bring it back. I put it over my shoulder, but I made it into like a rectangle, and I put it over my shoulder. Hey, listen,
The Somali version.
yeah, fashionable,
That's one thing about Qatar. It's very welcoming, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Love that, man.
Can you tell us a dream project or goal that you have for the future?
This is the most difficult question, because as we grow up, our interest changes, or changes, and our mindset changes as well, and our desires. I don't have any specific project, but I do have some in my mind, but not more of a project, but more of what I want to do when I grow up, right? There are specific jobs that I really want to do that is a bit too far-fetched, honestly, but I'm trying to carve my way into it in a way I don't want to say too much, but pretty much I'm in it a little bit. Trying to do it, and slowly but surely there are some things here and there that's kind of sparkling that shows that it might happen. Inshallah.
But don't forget the wise guys.
Of course.
Yeah, come on.
Adding to that real quickly, the motivation and the tone that I've heard from you is one of the main reasons why we really want you as a guest. Because when I first seen you speak in front of all the students, motivating them, it was so nice to see a Qatari speaking to the youth of his country. Because you'll go home in a couple of years, you'll forget about this, but those kids will never forget that. They will never forget that.
Yeah, it's always good to have people that talk to the youth and to basically inspire them, to not indulge them into non-realities, obviously, but to give them an idea that you truly can do great things in your life and even change it with your hands if you try. It's always that idea that we always feel like or think that imagining stuff that if I was that, if I could be that, if I can be there, but how many people truly try? Right? I'm sure this podcast was always into your minds, right? You always thought about it, you always maybe dreamt of it, you always talked about it, but at a certain point you said, we gotta do it.
You just gotta do it.
100%.
But like Ahmed said, it's not just the thing speaking as well as the way, like the eloquence in which you're speaking, with intent and the passion you have. You represent or you epitomize, a well-educated Qatari man, and I think that's what we love to have you on, to show that to our audience as well.
Appreciate it.
But obviously now we've had a nice conversation, we're going to bring it back to the wise guys content. Hey, what's your favorite food spot in Qatar? I've been dying to ask this question.
I've been itching, right? Comparing it to the yes.
Come on, we're like eating, man. So what is your favorite food spot in Qatar?
My favorite foods in Qatar. So honestly, I don't want to say it, but I don't think that most of the food in Qatar is the best.
That's a hot take.
Cut the cameras.
I want to get sponsorships. Guys, please, you're gonna ruin my future.
Can you elaborate on that though? Why do you think that?
I feel like when I go to other GCC countries, I feel like there's more. Not only the food doesn't look good, but tastes good. The thing is, if you hear mostly that it looks good, but it doesn't taste how it looks. Right? I don't know. Should we sue them for false advertising in a way? Can we do that? But that's one thing that I would say. That you could always say the counter argument is always that sometimes the looks of the food pays the bills, right? It's not the taste, right?
The image.
People come usually go to restaurants and so on because they want to they want to invite their friends or they want to put it on their Instagram or Snapchat, so on. So they just want to. That's the main thing that they attract, right? And honestly, there's one of the restaurants. I'm not gonna name it because you need to, just in case. But no, this is a good restaurant actually. There is a good restaurant that a few that I was recommending it, and it really does taste good. According to my parents, okay, not me. I didn't try it yet. Okay, but it's empty. It's empty. It's empty for been some time, and in a way, business gotta float, right? They have to attract customers depending on what they like, and usually looks or how it looks is the main thing, not the taste. So
what are you saying? So you trying to say you're more of like a home person? You eat at home, basically.
Home cooking.
I wish. I wish, man. I don't want to lie. Okay, I wish, but no, it's not. But I do have specific restaurant that I'm either I have good experience with, that I know that tastes good and so on. It's like my backup. I always eat it there if I feel hungry or somewhere. And I do have sometimes those food subscriptions, right? Like like a monthly food subscriptions. That's also a really good thing that I did recently, actually.
But one thing you in Qatar to do is the karak is nice though. Come on, you gotta see you like karak at least.
Yeah, karak is very good. But,
there you go.
But the milk there, the milk,
condensed milk.
Hey, this guy got different taste buds, bro. I love the food here. I'll be honest.
Food is always 10 out of 10 for me. But why is that? Do you think? Is it because you're comparing it to the US type of food?
No. the worst food here is probably the best food in America.
Yeah,
There you
100%.
go.
I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that. I agree
yeah,
with that.
and-
Same as UK though.
yeah.
That's probably why we're like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, maybe because of that. I honestly, and honestly, people say really good things about food in the UK. But to be fair, they talk about London. Okay,
yeah.
not everyone lives in London. I know in the UK, not everyone lives in London. So it differs obviously from
Yeah.
place to place, city to city, right?
100%.
So it makes sense in a way. So,
But there's one thing in London for sure, is that dirty doner kebab. The dirty, you know about that. You like it?
Man, I don't like it anymore. Man. I've changed. I'm more of a majboos guy now.
Oh, he's really changed. He's
I've
really
changed my ways, man. I like-
Ahmed, put the fries in the bag.
Take a touch.
But listen, it will not be a Wise Guys Show episode without doing a lot of Qatari phrases, and we can't do it. We have to do it with you here. You know, our honorary guest. Obviously, we teach a lot of Qatari students, a lot of students that speak Arabic. We've got an honorary Arab amongst us. He's amazing. I know you were saying earlier about his Arabic is amazing.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, he's really good.
appreciate that. A lot of practice.
Can you give us any phrases that we may be able to use in a classroom? You know what I mean? Just to like catch them off guard, something, you know?
So you caught me off guard with that question, honestly.
It can be anything. Anything. It doesn't have to be anything, you know, crazy.
Long,
Just
yeah.
almost even a word.
Beleshti.
Hey,
So
I love that word. You know what I like? Do you want the one I love though? Chop your bullshit. Hey, that's-
I said that's my first word. I said it because one of the things that actually kind of makes me mad is that because a lot of people say chamak. Chamak is an Emirati word
Yeah.
in Emirat. Okay.
Yeah.
With all due respect with that word, okay, I don't know where they got it. Neither do I know where we got that word, Beleshti, okay? But please, if you're here, know that this, and the other word for chamak in Doha is Beleshti. يعني, you don't need to say chamak. You can say Beleshti عادي. يعني.
What's the definition of this word?
So Beleshti, or maybe some people know chamak, is kind of like a loser. Like a loser, low life, someone who's annoying.
Yeah.
That can be a very massive definition.
You use it a lot.
Yeah. Man, one of the things in Arabic is all about context. I'm sure you know. There's a lot of words. Mean a
It's
lot
how
of
you
things.
say it.
Yeah, a lot of how you say it and the context of it. Just the context.
Do you know a funny moment I had when I heard the word Baleshti for one of the first times? It was I've seen someone from the UK wearing the Qitra and the Igal, stuff like that. And I've seen some Qatari boys, right? They're kids. And they're like, ايش فيها البلشتي? I looked at his Qatra, I'm thinking he looks perfect. I'm like, what's I'm trying to learn Arabic as well. ايش فيها they're talking bad about him. Then I look at their Qatra, it's different to him.
Yeah.
So then now, living here, I experience when I see a wrong Qatra, I'm even like, yo, this guy looks Baleshti, man. What's wrong with this guy?
Nah, but you know, but Balesh, we can't use that one in the classroom. That's a violation.
One of my students used it on another student. That's why I've heard it.
That's why I heard it from
Jolo,
them.
shout out to Jolo.
They say it to each other, you know, they say it to each
I was
other.
like, what's
That's
that?
crazy.
Then he told me the meaning for it. Man.
But on a positive note, I love how Qataris, Allah يحييك, Allah يديك العافية. When you say
والنعم.
والنعم, and then والنعم ما عليك زود, صح?
Yeah.
All those stuff is so polite. That's for me. I like that.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm proud of you, man.
I appreciate that.
100%.
appreciate that.
Even the way he said it, the answer is correct.
Because I grabbed the student. Oh, could you please tell me what would that mean? And they give me a little lecture, and then okay, we could go now. No detention for you today.
Those kids should ask commissions for those questions. Yeah, you gotta pay them.
But yeah, should we wrap it up there, guys?
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
That was nice.
Is there anything that you want to mention before we do wrap up? Is there anything that's any pressing points that you wanted to say?
One of those pressing questions, honestly, we should all focus on the idea that in this day and age, like Muslims have been more united than ever.
Yeah.
That's what it should be, right?
100%.
And we saw in the media how they portray Muslims in this day and age, right? How they talk about Muslims, how they portray us in a way.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the media, when they talk about the Moroccan football players, about how putting the pointer is a specific group, or his mother, one of the Moroccan players in the World Cup 2022 is, his mother is a, unfortunately says it, but it's in like a specific animal, like that's how they describe it, like in, in the Dutch media, and how they portrayed the protesters in America, that they are, they're, Muslims, and 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 they they're always portraying freedom of speech, freedom of protest. But when specific people or Muslims specifically protest for a specific country in the Middle East, right? And
it's
yep, and they do martial law against them, and they were willing to destroy this constitution to basically put whatever their beliefs first, or not beliefs, but more of their interest first, should be an alarming rate. Should be something that should ring alarm for ourselves that Muslims should be united. Muslims should be more inclined to basically to basically be better themselves in terms of education, to pursue something that they educational wise that they benefit themselves, community and others, and they should be more tight knit together.
Yeah.
Because I've seen lately with Muslims that they're willing to focus against each other than those, others who look at us in a very bad light, and they're doing everything they can, whether it's media, political, or law-wise even, and even parliamentally wise, how they speak about us in the worst way, in the most dehumanizing way.
Yeah.
And they have no issues with that, and even use it to their political tool. Should ring an alarm bell that this is something that should be taken very seriously and should be at least start with us
Yeah.
together with each other, and then it paves the way over the generations. Because if we don't start, then they cannot start anytime. And the sooner the sooner we do it, the better.
100%.
That's some food for thought.
That is
That's
very-
a nice.
I like
I think that's a nice way to end the episode as well. Thank you so much for coming on, Talal.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully we can have you on again in the future. I know you're a busy man, but we'd be honored to have you on again. And we get into some different topics and get a bit deeper. But,
I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're just scratching the surface. We're just
Appreciate
scratching the
it.
surface.
level, yeah.
I appreciate it.
thank you so much, guys. If you're watching, please do hit subscribe and hit the like and let us know your favorite part of this episode. And yeah. Don't use Balashti.
Do use Balashti.
Do use okay.
Yeah, Balashti.
He's a Balashti. He's a Balashti. Okay.
مع السلامة يا بلشتي.
Take care. Nice one.